Not every database has a pivot operator, but you can still transform rows into columns using standard SQL that works everywhere. Here's how. The core technique is using case expressions inside an aggregate function like max or sum. For each value you want to pivot, you write a case that checks if the current row matches that value, and if so, returns the data. Otherwise, it returns null. The aggregate function then collapses multiple rows down to a single value per group. This turns vertical data into horizontal columns. The group by clause is essential. You group on the row identifier, like customer ID or product name, so that all the rows for that entity collapse into one pivoted row. Without group by, you'd get every individual row back. With it, you get one row per unique identifier with all the pivoted columns side by side. Each target column needs its own case expression. If you're pivoting sales data for January, February, and March, you write 3 separate case blocks, one checking for each month. This means you must know your column values at query write time. It's explicit and verbose, but completely portable. The limitation is that column values must be hard-coded. You can't dynamically pivot unknown values without dynamic SQL or application layer code that generates the query at runtime. For truly variable columns, you'd build the SQL string programmatically, but for most use cases, the static case approach is simpler and safer. Remember, pivot rows into columns with case when inside aggregates, group by to collapse, and consider dynamic SQL only when column values are truly unknown. Practice this on Interview Mentor. Want to nail questions like this in your next interview? Interview Mentor gives you hands-on practice with real questions. Every answer gets a grade with specific, personalized feedback. Track your progress across topics and difficulty levels.